Say you're a student under the age of 21. You're at a party, you've been drinking, and you think someone may need medical assistance. Do you call 911 and risk getting an underage drinking violation, or do you do nothing? In the US, every 12 days, a college student dies from alcohol poisoning. 16 states have attempted to combat these alcohol-related teen deaths with legislation. The Lifeline Law provides legal immunity to underage drinkers who call 911 for someone who needs medical help. No fine, no record. In Illinois, the bill was introduced to the House last year, but has not moved forward.
This is something that if somebody is out drinking, and although they shouldn't be because they're underage, and somebody else sees that they need help, they should be able to call for that help and not worry about the fact that they could get in trouble for it, because it could actually save their life, and that's really what the bottom line is.
We talk a lot with our clients about safety and a lot about how to indicate, when someone needs medical attention, when you really need to involve someone else. And people are very hesitant when they're using substances, especially illegal substances, to seek the help that's needed. So, I think a lot of overdose situations can be mediated a little better.
Here at Glenview South High School, approximately 97% of the 600 graduating seniors will be heading to college in the fall. In college, as supervision declines and alcohol flows more freely, freshmen tend to be more vulnerable to alcohol-related deaths. In fact, freshmen account for more than 1/3 of college deaths.
At a lot of parties I go to, or if I see anyone at a party, they're usually, a lot of people are blacked out, people pass out, people are in the bathroom, puking. And it's kind of scary because if parties are already like this now, if they're this intense and people are passing out, puking, imagine what college is going to be like.
I think the problem is that, again, when kids are drinking and they see somebody puking, they might think it's funny, they might think, oh, that person had too much, they're not really able to maybe distinguish between serious and not serious. And so I think they spend a lot of time kind of laughing at kids who have passed out and less time thinking that there's something serious going on.
I think it's important to have a law to save lives, and this gives them an opportunity for the friend to call the hospital or the fire department or the police to get help for his or her intoxicated friend without fear of being arrested or giving a citation. So I think it's vitally important to have that avenue for help.
And I think this law significantly allows people to say, I have a friend in danger without the fear that they themselves will be liable. I think that it requires a lot of information or communication about the intricacies of the law, or at least allowing kids to understand exactly what it is, because most people, I don't think, pay much attention to what happens in the Illinois Congress. Mm-hmm. And the once a semester assemblies on here's what happens if your friend is drunk aren't sufficient, because people sleep in those assemblies.
Well, I don't think that the law should necessarily impact whether or not a person should be calling 911 regardless of whatever condition they're in, sober or drunk. It really comes down to your friend's life being more important than you getting a drinking ticket.
In Indiana, the Lifeline Law has been in place since 2012. In order for intoxicated minors to gain legal immunity, there are a couple of rules. The intoxicated minor must stay on the scene, and they must cooperate with authorities in giving personal information.
And it's kind of scary that parents are putting their kids' lives in the hands of other kids, pretty much, because we're the ones looking out for each other. This year I pretty much mommed a lot of people on my floor and ended up taking care of so many people when they're passed out. But you always make sure somebody's breathing, and you make sure somebody's on their side, and you make sure that they're responsive. And if somebody wasn't talking back to me, then that is a sign. You go through the motions, kind of.
One thing that I think needs to be stated is this is a crazy-making situation. You have alcohol, which is illegal, up until 21, but everyone is aware that it happens all the time in settings where kids are younger than 21. So there's this dialectical process where two opposing things are happening. One is against the law, and the other is it's happening all the time. And everyone knows it. So what is one supposed to do? You know, adults tend to weigh on the side of like it's against the law, it's bad, horrible, don't do it. And yet at the same time, speaking outside of the other side of their mouth, they're going, but we all know they do it and it's happening all the time. So nothing is offered to actually help the kids so that they are made to be safe.
It doesn't make any sense to me that they're really against the law, frankly. If we had an adult who had too much to drink and was in danger, we wouldn't think twice about calling the ambulance for him. Why do kids have to think twice? It just doesn't make any sense to me.